Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 23, entitled Life's Ultimate Goal. And on the board is the verse 45. Is it 45? 45.
Yeah, actually it's 45.
It's 45.
Yes.
So we read the...
Is that Madhura?
No, it's not the right one. It's supposed to be 45, but it's 35 now.
Is 45 a short one? Then I can quickly write it.
It is quite short.
Should we give it to me?
So thank you very much for being present here. The chapter is entitled Life's Ultimate Goal. And it's Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually instructing Sanatana Goswami. And we will see it's speaking of very high stages of Krishna consciousness, of prema, of bhava, very elevated stages. And on one side is good also for us to have the awareness. In Sanskrit it's called like Prayojan Bodh, to know what is our goal while we practice, so that will allow us to move in that direction. And today we will try to understand that, because we will hear about elevated symptoms of bhakti, like a devotee when he's touched by bhava, is actually when he's chanting the holy name, it's crying, its body is shivering, is touched, say in the heart, is very much touched simply by listening to the holy name. And we will try to see then, because they are very elevated stages, it's rarely we can see some of the devotees exhibiting those kind of symptoms. And so we will try to see also for how this can relate to us, and how from the stage where we are actually, because still it's good that we can see that our heart is transforming, even if we are not on that level, so that we are moving progressively, gradually to that level. And so we will see how is relevant for us, so that we can observe this change also in ourselves. As I was singing Jai Radha Madhava, I remember the Prabhupada disciple always described when Prabhupada in Mayapur, as he was singing actually Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai, Shri Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Ki Jai. So as he was singing Jai Radha Madhava, at some point he could not proceed farther, and tears were flowing from his eyes. And Prabhupada was always saying this song is actually a window in the spiritual world. Yes. So, and just last week also, as I got the number of this verse, normally we listen to the remembering Srila Prabhupada about from his disciple, and one of his disciples was explaining like there was a devotee at the temple. He was a very young devotee at that time, and every Mangalarti the devotee was there, and as soon as they will start to sing, the devotees will fall on the ground, will roll, and then the devotees, actually this devotee that was remembering, he was saying, I thought this is the way of Krishna consciousness, what we should do. We should roll on the ground and cry. So one day they went to Prabhupada and they told him what is happening. And Prabhupada actually said, try to throw a bucket of water on him, and then you will see. So, and yes, as you will see in the translation here, Prabhupada in the purport will say also that we should not imitate. That's the thing. So we will read now. Actually, there are a few verses before, from the verse 36 to the verse 45. I will just read before those verses so that we understand where we are when we arrive in this one. So we start from the 36. Krishna lila stanekare sarvadavasati. A devotee absorbed in ecstatic emotion for Krishna always reside in a place where Krishna's pastimes were performed. Tadam yamuna tire namanitara kirtayan udbaspa pundarikaksha raja ishamitandavam. O Lord Pundarikaksha, while chanting your holy name with tears in my eyes, when shall I dance in ecstasy on the bank of the Yamuna? This verse is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-156. Krishna ratira china hei kailum vivarana, Krishna premera china ebe shuna sanatana. O Sanatana, please hear this from me. These are the symptoms of a person who has developed attraction, bhava, for Krishna. Now let me describe the symptoms of a person who is actually elevated to love of Krishna. Yanra chitte Krishna prema karaye udaya tanra vakya kriya mudra vikyayana bhujaya. Even the most learned men cannot understand the words, activities, and symptoms of a person situated in love of Godhead. Danyasyaram nava prema yasyon mirati cetasi antarvani virapyasya mudra sushtu sudurgama. Even a most learned scholar cannot understand the activities and symptoms of an exalted personality in whose heart love of Godhead has awakened. This verse is also in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-4-17. It's interesting, two verses is saying the same thing. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. What does he say in these two verses?
We cannot understand the behavior of a big devotee.
Yeah. So 2 times, so it means be careful. Yeah. And then Evam vratasva priyanama kirtya jatanu garo druta chitta uchai asatya toro ditirauti gayati umada vamrityati lokabaya. When a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is very dear to him, is agitated and loudly chants the holy name. He also laughs, he cries, and sometimes agitated and chants just like a madman, not caring for the outsiders. So this is a verse quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:240. Prema krame vadhyaya sneha mana pranaya raga anuraga bhava mahabhavahaya. Love of Godhead increases and is manifested as affection, counter love, love, attachment, subattachment, ecstasy, and sublime ecstasy. Bija ikshurasa guda tabe kanda sara sarkara sita michari shuddha michari yara. This development is compared to sugarcane seeds, sugarcane plants, sugarcane juice, molasses, crude sugar, refined sugar, sugar candy, and rock candy. Iya yaiche krame nirmala krame bade svada rati prema dire taiche badaye ashvada. One should understand that just as the taste of sugar increases as it is gradually purified, so when love of Godhead increases from rati, which is compared to the beginning seeds, its taste increases. And now we are of the verse of today. I will do first the word by word so that we understand when we sing what we sing. Adhikari. Adhikari. What does it mean?
Qualification.
Yeah. Prabhupada, Adhikari, one who has the qualification, and Prabhupada is translating it, of the possessor. Bede.
Bede.
What does it mean?
Different.
Yeah, it comes from Veda, so the translation you see is Bede, so it's another case. According to differences.
According to differences.
Rati.
Rati.
Attachment.
Right. Attention. Panchaparakara.
Panchaparakara.
5 varieties.
5 varieties.
Shanta.
Shanta.
Neutrality, right? Dasya.
Dasya.
Servitorship. These are very easy. Sakya.
Sakya.
Yes. Vatsalya.
Vatsalya.
Yes. And Madhura.
Madhura.
Conjugal love.
Conjugal love.
Ara.
Ara.
What does it mean, Ara?
Etc.
Yeah, Ara na Korea maneasa. Ara, nothing else there, and also it means. This is a small, but we have many times in the song of Prabhupada. So it means adhikari when one possesses as the adhikar all what we heard before. So you remember before there was sneha. It was interesting before in these 3 verses before is, I don't know, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times there is the word krama. Do you know what, you understand what does it mean? Also if you say krama, there is few times in the verse.
Chronic?
No? It's gradually, step by step, gradually, naturally, organically, it comes. So, few times Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, so step by step as we go through sneha, no, before there is also, I think it's, there was bhava, then prema, sneha, so there are all the symptoms. So one who has all, is an adhikara, so who has reached gradually to that level. So what is happening then? He will Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhura. Actually, by naturally the heart is developing. Naturally, will feel some attraction towards one of the relationship towards Krishna. In this way, this is what the meaning of the verse. So we can read together. Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara.
Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara.
Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara.
Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara.
Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara.
Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara.
Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara.
Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara.
Please.
Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara. Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara. Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara. Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara.
Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara.
Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara.
Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara.
Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara.
Ladies.
Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara.
Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara.
Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara.
Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara.
Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara.
Adhikari Bederati Panchaparakara.
Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara.
Shanta Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurahara.
Thank you. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
According to the candidate possessing these transcendental qualities, like sneha, mana, and so on, there are 5 transcendental mellows: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love. Purport. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rati, attraction, is thus described. The real symptoms of the fructification of seeds of love, Rati, So the real symptoms of the fructification of seed of love, so there is the seed of love, is growing, 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 fruits are coming, and then there are some symptoms, rati, are manifested because the heart is melted. When such symptoms are found among speculators and fruitive actors, they cannot be accepted as real symptoms of attachments. Foolish people without knowledge of devotional service praise such symptoms of attachment even when they are based on something other than a desire to serve Krishna. However, one who is expert in devotional service calls such symptoms ratyabhas, a mere glimpse of attachment. One more time the translation. According to the candidate possessing these transcendental qualities, sneha, mana, and so on, there are 5 transcendental mellows: neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental love, and conjugal love. Please we can pray together. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanavitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakarvatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master has been opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. Therefore, I offer to him my most humble obeisances. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dejatarine. Thank you once again for being here, asking also permission to the older devotees to be here and say something, and also well wishing from everyone, so we may find something that is relevant for our spiritual life. Again, it's a very beautiful part of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and definitely the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's a place where we can see a lot of crying, tears, ecstatic symptoms when the Panchatattva and the devotees all are dancing, and it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we know, being Srimati Radharani coming to this world, his heart is full of love. And so the process also that we are following is the bhakti, is a process of the heart. It's not about external, it's about the heart. So as I was reading today this purport of Srila Prabhupada and the verses, what actually was touching me, it's in the translation of the from Rupa Goswami about the level of rati. So it's saying the real symptoms of the fructification of seed of love, it's growing, 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 fruits are coming, and then there are some symptoms, rati, are manifested because the heart is melted. So of the seeds of love, rati, are manifested because the heart is melted. So I just took this for me. I thought I want to go a little deeper. And it says, so when the heart is melting, then naturally all those things are coming. And so I will try to take a principle out of this, and so it seems that if our heart is changing, so inside, so it's a process inside to outside. It's not from outside to inside. So when we change inside, then outside also the things will change. So it will change to the extent that tears will come from our eyes. And so this process of bhakti, which when we see that it will work, our activities will also change. The way we speak, the way we behave, this will all change. And finally our vision will change. We will not do the same. We don't want to do any longer the same things. So the principle is by changing our heart, everything else will change. All our activities, our way of thinking will change. So we will see a little bit, as we saw, because these one are very elevated symptoms that we see, we don't have yet now. So, but we can already, the first point will be how can we see that our heart is changing now. Then we will try to understand how can we move towards those high levels. And we will see also a very practical principle that can help us in our hearing and chanting. It's called Isha principle. So we'll try to speak about these 3 points. As I was mentioning, it's very nice to see how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining this process, and also how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us, I mean, it seems something so high, but it's giving us the path that we can move towards the direction. And as we saw, Krama Krama, it's the process we are following. It's very organically, it will develop if we, as we will discuss in this lecture, it's all about to have the proper inner mood and inner attitude when we practice. Then naturally everything will come. So it's a matter of the heart. I thought just slightly to touch about, because Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami speaks about this level of bhava, and I remember because Prabhupada is also mentioning that the heart is melting. So I went again back to look at the definition of Bhava Bhakti in the Nectar of Devotion by Rupa Goswami. And it's described, Rupa Goswami is giving this definition. Suddha Shattva Visheshatma Prema Suryam Susamyabhak Ruchibir Chittam Ashrinya Krida So Bhava Uchate. So there is Surya Amsu. Any idea what does it mean? Surya? Yeah, Amsu is like Amsa, it could be like a particle, so actually it's the ray of the sun. So this bhava, this stage, when we come to this stage, is like Surya Amsu is like this ray, Prema Surya Amsu, this ray of love. What he's doing is Chitta Masrinya, is touching the heart. So as we will see in Sanskrit, heart is defined as Chitta, the consciousness. So this love, it's also actually what we are cultivating now. When we can also see when we are with the right attitude, we are performing the activities of bhakti for Krishna's pleasure, we feel also touched in the heart. So that is this ray of love, this energy from Krishna that touches the heart. So when the translation is, when devotional service is situated on the transcendental platform of pure goodness, it is like a ray of sunlight, of love for Krishna. And at such time, when this ray of love comes into our heart, devotional service causes the heart to be softened or melted, like Prabhupada translated. And by various states that are called bhava. spiritual emotion. So when this ray of light is touching our heart, we will be touched. And when you are, if actually you can see also in just in normal relationship, if you are touched, you can even cry when someone, if you are grateful or so. It's, you see. So these are like a kind of material. You can give an example materially of how it looks. When you are touched by someone loves you and does something really for you, you are touching the heart till almost till cry. So this is the same for with the relationship with Krishna. And then Prabhupada is explaining, so there are these two characteristics of Bhava, that one, that is the primary characteristic is Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma. So this is the stage where the Lord in internal potencies enters the heart of the devotee. Yeah, so this potency of the Lord, the spiritual potency, enter our heart. So this is what is happening. So, and then he says the example like heat, when you have heat and light and you have a seed, if you put heat and light, then what will happen? The seed will start to grow, to sprout. And so in the same way, when this ray of love touches our heart, what will happen? Then love will grow, start to sprout more and more. And so we can see that this bhava is the dawning or budding stage of prema. Yeah, so when this love starts to sprout in our heart, we feel love for Krishna. And the second characteristic of bhava is that it softens the devotee's heart to the extent that then all these symptoms are coming out. So this is the definition of bhava. But as we say that because this level are very high, so I tried also to understand how to make this applicable for our spiritual journey from where we are now. And I also thought, as I was listening, reading to these verses, and the verse that is very well known from the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's from Srimad Bhagavatam 2:3-20-24. And this verse says, yeah, certainly that heart is still framed. I thought that relates a little better to me. Is still framed, which, in spite of one's chanting the holy name of the Lord, does not change when ecstasy takes place. Tears fill the eyes and the hair stands on end. And I was reading a little bit in the purport of Srila Prabhupada, and I found it very beautiful, because here a few times Prabhupada is explaining the importance of this change of the heart. And they say the whole process of spiritual culture is aimed at changing the heart of the living being. So all what we are doing is meant to change our heart in our relationship with Krishna as subordinate servant, which is our eternal constitution. And then again, you will see, like, I think 6 times Prabhupada says about changing the heart in 5 sentences. It means it's something important and relevant for us. So he says, so with the progress of devotional service, the reaction of changing the heart is exhibited by gradual detachment. So as our heart, so this is already one symptom, and that we can understand that it's our heart is changing, we become gradually detached. And is increasing our attitude of rendering loving service. So, and then we desire to do more service. And then Prabhupada again. This is super important. You can hear what Prabhupada said. It is expected. What does it mean it is expected?
Must.
It's a must. It's not something concrete that you can choose yes or not. It is expected. So this is what Prabhupada expects from us. It is expected by all means that by discharging regulated devotional service, one must. So it's expected and one must manifest the change of the heart. Again. Yeah, and then he says if there is not such change, then the heart must be still framed, for it is not melted. And then again, Prabhupada saying, no, this. Then he says we must always remember that hearing and chanting are the basic principles And if they are properly performed, like we will say, so we will touch a little bit today, what is the inner attitude? That's the most important thing. What is our inner attitude? Then, when they are properly performed, there will follow the reactional ecstasy with sign of tears in the eyes and standing of the hairs of the bodies. So these are, Prabhupada said, these are natural consequences. Yeah. So I thought it's very nice how Prabhupada explained about the importance of changing the heart. And I was thinking, till what time is the lecture? Just that I regulate myself.
Usually 8:30,
8:30.
but you can also go a little longer.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
As I was thinking, so I was also reflecting on myself with the change of my heart. And I was also thinking, I remember just this year when we were in Vrindavan, one of the experiences that most touched me, as we were in Varshana, we were doing some pilgrimage, actually discovering some new places, visiting some places. And as we were coming back from one of those places, that is close to the big Goshala that there is in Varshana of Ramesh Baba, we passed through a place with a friend of mine. It's out in the fields. I mean, there was a small road, and we looked, and the three of us, we looked, and there were some very beautiful these Vrindavan trees, huge trees that they are like all like. It seems actually they cannot stand because of they are in Baba. they just are, they cannot stand any longer because they are made out of love. They are not normal trees. So we saw there were like quite many of those trees, and there was a small lake, but nothing else. Normally, if it's a holy place, they really put and you see. But we felt, and all of three, we kind of felt as to stop because there was a special energy. So we looked, and then we looked inside, and then one brahmachari came, and we asked him, what is this place? And then he said, actually, this is Bichwa Kund. It's the place that Ramesh Baba actually is also discovering the holy places and trying to put them nicely together again. And he said, this is Bichwa Kund, is the place where Srimati Radharani was bathed. While bathing in this lake, she lost her Bichwa, the two rings. And then the pastime goes that Krishna found again these two rings for Srimati Radharani. But what was interesting, we were there, and this brahmachari was telling us there is a very nice Baba there, a devotee that is chanting. And so we looked there, but you could not see nothing, but there was a hole. A hole, and he told, yeah, there in this hole there is a cave. So we went there, and they said, no, please go in. So we all went, practically it's a hole, but you can, very small hole, you can just enter like this. And we entered this hall, and this devotee, actually a devotee from Bengali Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava, that he says since 5 years now he is there, and he made a cave. Jai Shri Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Maharani ki Jai, Shri Purnithai ki Jai. So we entered there, and we found this in the darkness. It was very dark, but there was such a light in the eyes of this devotee. It's something that stayed with me, and I hope I will not forget my whole life. It's so this devotee, practically we were speaking little with him because our friend speaks also a little bit Bengali, and he was speaking Bengali. But as I told you, like he had such a smile on his face, more or less our age, not much older than us. That also was very touching for me. Someone that completely decided to leave everything, and if one is not at that level, cannot live in a cave. You can try. I mean, not to live in a cave, but we had the experience also the year before in Vrindavan. There was some, some sun eclipse, so it was not suggested to go outside, and it was even suggested to close all the windows. So we decided at the time, okay, we will do that, and we closed all the windows. It was dark inside, so day and night it's all dark, and we spent the day and the night just in the room. And it's not easy, because there is nothing more to look outside. You are forced to look on inside. And many times it's not so easy to look inside, unless you are not at that level. But so this devotee living, as I told, I almost never saw such eyes, such a smile, such depthness. And what I was reading was remembering me about this devotee that is definitely at that stage where you can see is shining through, and you can practice that. But so now we will look a little bit how we can see that our heart is changing at the level where we are, so that we are progressively, gradually, that we are rightly moving towards the direction. So in Sanskrit, as we mentioned, and also Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami uses the same words. Do you remember how in Sanskrit the heart is mentioned? Chitta. So chitta is the heart, consciousness, sometimes also the mind is where we are situated. And we know the function of the chitta is thinking, feeling, and willing. So when the heart will melt, will soften, if our hearts start to change, naturally it means our thoughts, we will need to observe that our thoughts are changing, we will need to observe that our feelings are changing, we will need to observe that our desires are changing. So these are like actually Prabhupada would say also, you can test yourself and see. If we introspect, if we just take the time a little bit to reflect, we can see if we are really progressively moving, because we don't want just to stagnate, we want to progressively move forwards to arrive to this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants from us, that we all become ecstatic devotees. So, and about the thoughts process, it becomes different from our present way of thinking, or the way that we always thought. I don't know what about you, but when I wake up many times I always have the same thoughts, and I think, come on, can we not have something something different? It's not so inspiring, please. And there is a story of Sachinanda Maharaj explains this story. There was a Bengali devotee, so going in the sandy pathway of Mayapur, and it comes to a point that there is a dead cow. There is a dead cow, and you see all around there are all the villagers that they are crying for the dead cow, and like this. And this devotee sees this dead cow and starts to dance. Tears flow from his eyes. He's in ecstasy. And everyone thinks, "Are you? What is happening?" And then he says, "But this is wonderful. Now we can use the skin of the cow. We can make a mridanga. We can chant the holy name and spread the glory of the Lord all over the world." So it's a different, if you see like a normal person, its way of thinking, okay, this was my cow, it's left the body and said, and the devotee whose heart has changed, transformed, and he has a completely different thought pattern. So our thoughts, gradually we need to observe that our thoughts are changing. We will look also a little bit into that. And the second thing, feeling. It means also our emotional reaction. This we can also test and check. How do we react to situation? Yeah, so we can check our emotional reaction to situations. So like if someone corrects us, how we react. If someone praises us, how we react. When things happen in our life, life is, I guess all of us, also especially those who are a little older, you can know, life is constant changes and many things are happening. But how we emotionally react? Are we changing our way, or do we always react in the same way? So much that like when the process of devotional service is working, because we develop this, we are not more I and mine, but we develop this identity of being servant of the Lord. We don't identify any longer with this body, because when we overreact to situations emotionally, it means we are very also identified with this body. But as more as we identify as servant of the Lord, actually we learn to see the smiling face of the Lord behind everything what is happening, not just theoretically, because it's easy to say, but then it's difficult also. I know because we are all practicing, so it's difficult then. But it will come to the point that actually even if there are devotees, like even if someone will criticize us, actually we will be happy. We will say, "Thank you, Krishna. Actually, I know this is good because you are taking away something that is not necessary for me to progress." So we need to notice how we emotionally react to things and to see whether we are progressing. And then also willing our desires needs to change. That's the most difficult, to change our desires, but gradually our desires also need to change. And the desire, as Prabhupada was saying, that we need to notice in our heart that the desire to serve, to come close to Gonitai, to Jagannath, to Radha and Krishna becomes stronger in our heart. And now we will look at the second part, how to move towards those levels. And do you remember what Prabhupada was mentioning in this verse about the steel frame heart? What are the basic principles, say, to move towards this change?
Chanting?
Yes. Chanting and hearing. Prabhupada said these are the basic principles to move towards those levels. Yeah, so I was thinking, because we are all hearing and chanting, and I still remember also our spiritual master, and Srila Prabhupada actually says, if you want to enter Krishna consciousness, Krishna is like a fire, so you have to become fire. So the thought was, because these processes also, hearing and chanting, are also like fire, they are working. But if the fire is here and we are here, it may take lifetimes. It's like if you cook without fire. But so if we want, these processes are working, if we want to see those changes, and again, that it's something gradually, not that it takes, I don't know, lifetimes. We need to keep our consciousness while practicing in the fire. And if we keep our consciousness, our heart in the fire will work. Because there is, why this is happening? Because as we saw also on the level of Baba, there is this ray of love that comes in the heart. So naturally, if the ray of the sun is strong enough, it will function. So in the same way, this energy of the Lord, the spiritual energy, as Vastu Shakti, as some potency, is potent. It's all potent, actually. So it's like fire. Even if you don't know, if you put your hand in the fire, you will burn yourself. Or it's like time, the example that is given. If time is there, if you leave an apple on the table, you leave the time passing, and you will see the time is acting. This apple will rotten. So this spirit, the spiritual energy of the Lord, and by the way, all the Panchanga Bhakti, the process that we are practicing, as this Vastu Shakti, it works. So the problem is that if we don't connect, if we keep far from this Vastu Shakti. And as we were saying, so when we contact these processes of hearing and chanting with the proper attitude means we are there, we are inside, then it will work on us. And so even souls that are imperfected, like we have many examples, we have also the prostitute with Haridas Thakur, we could mention many, Dhruva Maharaj, we have so many examples, actually since the Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of examples of those who were not perfect, but just contacting, they become perfected. And so not by our own power, because we are imperfect, but by the power of the holy name, of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and ultimate by Krishna's grace. So the Bhakti will transform us. And this is why Bhakti is considered superior than Jnana, than any other processes, because it just works. Because of, as we say, by Krishna's grace, he can do everything and anything. And we come now to the last point, because I thought, okay, to have just listed something practical that maybe we can take with us and we can apply in our life and check it out if we are able to make it work and to see some change that will inspire us to farther and farther move on this journey. And so this is called the Isha principle. This we can apply so when chanting the holy name, also reading the scripture, in a way that, so when we do these practices, that we are able, that with our chitta, with our heart, that we are there with those practicing, that it means at those times we are meeting the Lord. It's all about relationship. It's all about our inner attitude, as we can always see in our daily life, in relationship with others also. As more as you are there and you express with other person, this will work. So in the same way in the process of bhakti. So what can help us to move towards the direction and change our inner attitude. In this principle of Isha, there is like the first letter is I, and it means intention. So, for example, with the chanting or with the reading, but I felt we can apply it really in all the different practice of our spiritual life. Before we start the practice, because some or other the curse we have that we daily do the same things. So to keep always the awareness, as we were explaining at the beginning, that's why also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and also the Bhagavatam, they give us also this awareness, what is our goal. So we form one intention. For example, before chanting, we can say Sankalpa. We sit down and before starting, we just think, okay, now today I really want to, I know this is the most important thing for me, for my progress, for my journey. So now I want to sit, I want to chant, I want to be present in my relationship with you, my dear Lord, I do it for you. I will give my best. So we do this, we set our consciousness, our mind, otherwise the mind goes everywhere. So the second is S, is sincerity. Maybe I felt this is maybe the most difficult thing. I mean, Prabhupada was also many times mentioning about sincerity in the way we have to practice our devotional service. And so we have to come to this place of sincerity. But the challenge, being in the material body, we are very, to be functional in this world, we need to be out. So most of the time we work to be functional on this external, to function normally on the external level, aware of the thing outside. But to come to this place of sincerity, we need to move inside on a deeper level, where is like that we are not so much any longer, sometimes I feel it's like a whirlpool of the things that are all happening outside in this life that is always changing, but inside we need to connect to who we really are. I'm a spirit soul in this journey. This is just really something temporary, super fast, this life will go. So go to that place as a spirit soul and try to connect, and I like what Vaijayanti Prabhu was saying, when you do your practice, try to touch transcendence. You say, touch the holy name with your consciousness. Try to touch the holy name with your consciousness. And then if we are, again, because the Lord, when there is this, from this place of sincerity, as we know from the Bhagavad Gita, yayatamam prapadyante, when we are able to arrive to this place of sincerity, the Lord is obliged, He cannot do differently. And He loves, He wants to show Himself, He wants, as I say, it's more eager than us to bring us back. So He just wants. So when we are able to work from this level of sincerity, so touching transcendence with our consciousness, then also Vaijayanti Prabhu said, then it might well be that you will perceive Krishna's fragrance. It can have many meanings. It's not just the perfume of the mask, but we will see Him working through our life. We will not mistake any longer that all these devotees say it like that. No, we'll see, oh, this is my Lord. So if we are come to this place of sincerity, then we will be able to perceive Krishna's fragrance. And then the last one of the three is A, attention. Attention means love. So we need constantly to carefully see where is our attention and to bring our attention back. In the practical matters, I always feel it's also Shivaram Maharaj actually puts a lot of emphasis on this. He says, so if you do practical service, just be attentive to the details. It matters. And I want to show you that I love you, my dear Lord, in what I do. So the attention. So we have this, you remember these three? So what is the first one?
Intention.
Intention. What is the second?
Sincerity.
And the third one?
Attention.
Thank you. So yes, so this is what I wanted to share with you today. We started with a beautiful description from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami of this high level where this devotees, when he's chanting the holy name, is just so touched in his heart that he cannot do other than cry and feel love, feel grateful, feel just love. He just cannot catch himself. So we were mainly touching 3 points because we saw these are very elevated stages, but Prabhupada is requiring us, if you say it is expected, and you must. So Prabhupada wants to move towards that. So we try to see how we can gradually but progressively move towards those stages. We saw how we can test ourselves if the heart is changing. Yeah, we taught thoughts, feeling, and willing. And then we saw how it works. So we saw the Vastu Shakti that is working, and this like a fire is burning. So if we keep in contact with the practice of Krishna consciousness, it will work. And then we saw this principle, these Isha principles, that we can try to apply when we are chanting, when we are reading the Bhagavatam. So thank you very much. I don't know if you have some questions, something to add, please. Yes.
Thank you for your lecture. Very good. Very interesting lecture. Thank you so much. I just wanted to ask if, I mean, all that, of course, I have to try to really apply it. And of course, additionally to that, one have to have a spiritual master, or I mean, is it? I mean, do we connect with Krishna properly without a spiritual master? I mean, we need. Actually, the question is, with a spiritual master, of course, we connect with Krishna, but without a spiritual master, do we connect actually with Krishna, or maybe a little bit less connect, or without a spiritual master we connect a little bit less, maybe, or?
I mean, thank you for the sincere question. And I mean, definitely the connection with Krishna is there, because again we are his part and parcels. And also, I like also what our spiritual master lately was telling us, like, he loves us unconditionally. He always loves us. He will always love us. So there's no, and again, it's with us, even with the animals, in all species of life is there. But like, definitely, so you can connect with Krishna, but that can also be, because you can see there is a journey, yeah? We can see ourselves not just as this lady from Italy at this time. We always need to go again to this, go beyond what we see. So okay, I'm a spirit soul. I mean, now I'm there, I'm here, and I'm finally again with the devotees. What do I need now? So go to this place of sincerity, and then you can say, my dear Lord, I understand actually that I also need to move forward. I need a spiritual master. So please help me in that direction. But still your practice, you can connect with Krishna, because Prabhupada is there also. I remember also myself, before taking a spiritual master, for me it took like 5 years, so still quite some time. But your connection with Prabhupada is there. Yeah. So you can practice, but again you can also see yourself in the journey where you are. Pray to Krishna, please, I want to move forward. Bring me what is necessary to move forward. So this you can do. This helps. Maybe we do one Prabhu and then again one lady.
So, Hare Krishna, thank you very much. I just attended the Govardhan retreat in Govardhan, and you spoke about Purijan Prabhu, and we often hear that we never see advanced devotees with the symptoms. But in this retreat, I saw two Prabhupada disciples. They could not speak anymore because they started to cry. It was Purichan Prabhu and his wife, Jagatrina Mataji also. And it was so impressive. Then you see, it works. Maybe it needs 10, 30 years, 40 years, I don't know, but it works.
Yes.
We hear that sometimes Prabhupada had also this, but then he wanted to hide it, but he could not do it anymore. And now I'm convinced it's okay.
So you're very fortunate. I mean, we can see also, because I was also thinking a little bit, we don't see much, but I was reading in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he met Ramananda Rai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually always had this, I mean, he was a volcano of emotions. it's just a volcano. But for example, when he met with Ramananda Rai, because there were some Brahmana there, though he had this feeling in his heart, he did not express. So, and again, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, twice you remember what he told us, we cannot judge even. So many times, so those who are on that level, they will really try, and really they really cannot. But most of the time in Vrindavan, I think it's also the place where one can, because certain devotees are there also, and certain, so these symptoms can be, how you say, expressed, and let them go when there is a right association. Otherwise, it's not, Prabhupada didn't want that. And so actually, we are very fortunate that we can be in that association, because it's also, it's contagious, no, also, even just when you see someone crying, as you say, even if you go to a funeral and someone is crying, you will feel immediately what to say when those devotees, that they are really touching the heart. Like I said, like also when I saw this devotee there, I mean, I think I will not forget. And we want, and actually, so that's maybe a good, I'm just thinking also, again, it's good to come to this place where we can pray with sincerity, my dear Lord, please allow me to meet such devotees, to have the association of those devotees, because finally that's only what can help us to, with, also, I remember also our spiritual master, if we want to arrive to those levels, it's possible only with the blessing of those who are on that level, and by serving those devotees. There is no other way. So actually, when we want to move forward, we can also have this prayer, like, please allow me, my dear Lord, to have the association with these devotees with this heart that is melted, allow me to serve them in that way. Then this will come also to us with them. And then it was also these things, so to have their association, to serve them, and pray to them. I really want to come to that level, please give me your blessings. And then the Lord may listen, and then we will be able to proceed. Thank you for sharing. I don't know if we should really stop or no.
Thank you so much for your wonderful lecture. I was thinking, actually it's all about the changing of heart, and then I can observe myself that when I'm with devotees, it's like their good qualities reflect on me. But when we're going outside, we find our patterns of behavior like before again. So how can we really see that actually we are moving forward and not just reflecting like the behavior of the devotees who,
Thank you very much for the question. I was listening also a lecture from, while preparing this lecture, I was also listening a lecture from Bhakti Vigyana Maharaj, where he has a seminar also on this matter. And he was explaining also how at the beginning, as we take up to Krishna consciousness, actually we are depending on the inspiration from outside. It's called Utsamai also. And when there is not this inspiration also, the tendency is that we get back to our old way of being. But as we progress also, we find the inspiration from inside also. And he was saying this comes actually in connection with the scriptures. To touch, so they really like this exercise that it seems something very simple, no? This principle that we were saying of Isha. So definitely you can try to apply that when you are chanting, so to touch, so that you have the experience, that you don't depend on the experience on others. Yes, so that you touch transcendence. And when you really try, the Lord for sure will reciprocate. And the other thing also that can help you, because you were asking how I can see that I'm changing also. And it's good also always to have someone, a devotee, that can also, I mean, we have the spiritual master, definitely, it's one, but even when we don't have the spiritual master, it's good to have also an older devotee, someone with similar mood, that can help us to see also how we are progressing, if we are progressing. Sometimes we cannot see, and someone that you can open your heart, honestly. Yeah, so this is very important. At the same time, if you try to apply this principle, also try to, even if you do small things, even if you are outside and if you are not in the temple, that small things that you do it, be there, even if you just offer one incense. And it's very helpful, I think, this setting of intention. So even just when we wake up in the morning, that intention and connect with the sincerity. I know, my dear Lord, it's difficult for me to be outside and I listen to change, but I really want to do that. Please help me today to feel your presence. You start with this and I want to give you pleasure. You can set your intention in the morning. So that's also very helpful. I hope this helps.
Thank you so much.
Is she Radhika or?
Thank you very much, Mother Vaijayanti, for a very profound lecture. If you allow, I wanted to just share something, and also had a question, but just inspired by what Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu shared. There's something I witnessed. It's about roughly 10 years ago, 2011 or 12. I was at the ISKCON Ujjain temple, and His Holiness Bhakti Char Swami Maharaj was giving the lecture, Bhagavatam. And he started saying Jai Radha Madhava. And we were there for a festival, I cannot recall which exactly. And he always sings with a lot of depth, and he started singing the Bhakshita. So he started singing Jai Radha Madhava. And at one point, he stopped singing, but his eyes were closed and he was deep in meditation. And all of us were just stunned because Guru Maharaj stopped singing, and there was a silence for maybe 5 minutes straight, and then somebody got scared and they yelled out Guru Maharaj, and then he woke up from his meditation. So it was so powerful for me to see as a young devotee that he was singing, so you could feel it.
In that place, no? So
yeah, and he was so absorbed that his mouth stopped moving. He didn't realize it. So it's so profound actually when you witness these things. That
it's touching, no?
Yeah, it's a reality we read about, but to experience it is so incredible. So I just wanted to share.
Thank you for sharing.
And I quickly just had this one question. It's something I was reflecting upon this morning. That, like you were speaking about the change of heart, and for me, I know how much my heart is to change and how powerful the process of Krishna consciousness is, that even if I half-heartedly do it, it acts. And sometimes I feel there is this tug of war on the inside if I introspect. Because I know that softening of the heart is very important to develop Rati. And I see what should be, how I should act, so my heart is softened, for example, in a situation. But this other thing is also like, but no, but this, like this other but argument is always there. So there is this resistance very strong in the heart. That you can know what is the best thing to do for your heart to be soft, but you can still resist it. So I was thinking maybe you could enlighten us how to overcome this, how to choose being softer.
So you say sometimes you are aware of the necessity. And at the same time, there is still the old me and the new me. So actually, our spiritual master also would say that it's also like if you go normally, if you go for for a japa retreat on your own like this. So, and you know, okay, I really want to change. So there is your old me, and so we are all in this process actually. We know very well the old me, but the new me is not yet there. It's not fully. So we are still. It seems we are still lingering in this. And it's difficult. It's like when you have liquor in a jar. It stays there. It's very difficult to take it out. So it seems this lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes. It's very difficult to take it out from us. We are very much into that. And one thing that can help. Also, our spiritual master was saying is very important. I was mentioning this Bodha Prayojana. So remembering always what is our goal, and this is our prime necessity. This is really what we need. So to constantly be aware. This also not just theoretically, but practically how we do that. So, for example, like when you wake up in the morning, you know what is your goal, where you want to go. So wake up and take 5 minutes and read about it. If it's about Vrindavan, it's about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just where your heart is attracted, just read about it. Then during the day, reflect again. You know, that we don't, because normally we act so much by thinking that we are, I am this person. It's just our mental frame is so much like that. Though we say, but then also how many times Prabhupada always say you are not this body, you are a spirit. So it's not so easy to realize, especially with the mind. But so to this awareness. So this is something you can really do practically every day. So also when you wake up, what is to really be clear, what understand and pray for that. What is my real necessity? Nothing else is so important. Everything will be taken away. So as also Bhaktitirtha Maharaj will say, actually we need to learn to die now. And that means to this old self, it's painful. I like that Bhaktivedanta Maharaj was explaining actually the process. See, many times in what we do in our society, we always say, yeah, it works. Take prasada, chant Hare Krishna, and it will work. But actually, he was quoting also from Prabhupada. We never mentioned this side. To become a pure devotee, it's a job. It's painful to let go. We don't want, as you say, you hear this, but you don't, there is this resistance. It's almost you don't want. But so we need to, it's painful, but we need to let it die. We need to die. To die is painful, even that we need to learn to do that. So definitely with this awareness that I need to do it now. Otherwise we will have another life. It is like this. It will not just be. So we need to die now and to take new birth. And so this with the awareness, so every day work on that, like with the reading of the scripture, like what is your goal, and read about that and remind yourself during the day. That's something. Okay, you tell me when we need to stop because it's 10 before 9. Yeah?
I couldn't understand what you said. You were in Varsana and there was a Brajbasi in a cave or something?
Gaudiya Vaishnava. So the devotee like
in a cave?
Yes. In
Varsana?
Yes, outside of Varsana. He made himself. He came. He felt a call to go and in Vrindavan, and then he went to Varsana, and he himself he made a cave with his hands. So we entered this. It's like you go a little down. Then there was a first room where he had a small altar, and then he made another small where he could just sit like this and chant, and then another one where he can just lay down and sleep. And they say it's our age. For me, what was touching is our age. You know, not 80 years. Our age. And someone was asking him also. Yeah, don't you feel the need of association? Because a Gaudiya Vaishnava, don't you feel the need of association and devotees? I say, no, Radharani, I have everything. But I say, you cannot do that if you are not on that level. It's just not possible. So, yeah, someone also that is completely let them go back. Yeah. Okay. You still wanted to? It's a
I want to add something.
Yes, please.
About
please.
this topic. It's Adilila Chaitanya Charitamrita 8:25. It's same words from Srimad Bhagavatam. If one's heart does not change, tears do not flow from his eyes, his body does not shiver, and his bodily hairs do not stand on, and as he chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it should be understood that his heart is hard as iron. This is due to his offenses at the lotus feet of the Lord's holy name. And very nice purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura, commenting on this verse, which is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.24, remarks that sometimes a Mahabhagavata or very advanced devotee does not manifest such transcendental symptoms as tears in the eyes, whereas sometimes a Kanishta Adhikari, a neophyte devotee, displays them artificially. This does not mean, however, that the neophyte is more advanced than the Mahabhagavata devotee. The test of the real change of the heart that takes place when one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is that one becomes detached from material enjoyment.
Thank you very much. It's a nice way to conclude. And I want to take the opportunity to thank also His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Maharaj and His Holiness Sachinanda Maharaj. I took a lot from them. They are our teachers in this matter. And yeah, I wish that you can touch transcendence and you can feel Krishna's fragrance in your life. And Jai Shila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai. Vaijayanti Devi Ki. Jai.
Yes.
To use this scales.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's still there. Sometimes it shows up so feminine.
Yeah, of course, apparently she was here and I could not talk to her, but she said, because this is like, I just think it's like to take care of them. Because say are here now, say left the parents somehow, and they are here, and after this result, we have to have. But I understand this, but how to do it is not. What I ever said to them until now, first you read she is very close, and if you really want to contact on this way, maybe then you can come back and but actually it's not nice. I don't feel this for me it's easy to speak, not because I'm old and so on, but still a mother is so this is great for me. But I'm of course they always approach me because I know you are also
But you are able to, so I don't have like children and family. So since I know.
We get nothing to do.
I just find that I have also my marriage is also to be myself, and I just feel so serious when they want me to outside duties of the house. But I can also say there's this side, there's also that side, you know. You can have perspective. It's on the individual to choose. And I am also getting old, so I can help someone who's younger with some advice. But I also have friends. But I also have friends. But I'm just saying that they don't expect that should not listen. But I have friends who have also like skills, for example, if someone can help, can solve someone has emotions. So I understand where it comes from. I know where I don't Anyway, I like his devotee care once you are and Swatch days.
So it may seem hard, but when it comes to that with your time, then it's like, you know.
They have also services in because it's once a month.
Yeah, but if it's once a month, they can change it. If they really are interested, it's not a problem.
And also, like, I wanted to do like, it's very encouraging to do this devotee care, and he talked about like spiritual friendships. And I have so much material we can work on, at least we can go on, but also like, in order to have some experiences, we have to do some things together. And also, I would like, understand our relationships as we have to do with service, Krishna, bonding, stuff that we carry. So I can see that joy there. And I also listen to the ladies, they know so much more. I was thinking.
The first one is to find out, and the second is to stay together. And they're so happy in this problem. That it's love. That's what we are to be with. Yes.
Yeah.